everyone, welcome back. So today I'm going to be doing a review and tutorial on the new Revolution and Roxi Cosy Vibes palette. So this is a new eyeshadow palette like this here, and yeah, it's part of like her collection with Revolution. So she has this palette here which is called Cosy Vibes. There is also an eyeliner which I have right here as well. There's also like a brush set, and there's something else. What is it? Lashes. There's lashes. But I didn't pick up the brushes or the lashes because I'm not really into them. But the palette looked really gorgeous, and also the liner, like I am super into, you know, winged liner, everything like that. So I had to give this new drugstore one a try. So this is the Cosy Vibes palette right here. The packaging of this is actually really pretty. I like this kind of knitted, cable knitted look on the packaging. And that's the shades inside there. So this palette looks a lot better actually in person than it looks on camera here. It's not really doing it any justice really, but this is a really nice palette. The colour story in this is really nice. They describe it as a cool to neutral palette, but for me I would describe this as cool to neutral with a few warm shades, because if you look at this side of the palette, like these few shades here are a little bit warmer than of course this side. So yeah, you kind of have half warm and half cool, which I quite like. You know, it gives you you know, a little bit of options for different eye looks. So yeah, I do like that. There is also a mixture of matte, metallic, shimmers and foils and pressed pigments in this palette, so we've got everything thrown in here. And yeah, as you can see, there's a few really stand out glittery shades right here. This one here which is called Sparkle, and this one here which is called Dazzle. They are really pretty shades. So I've come up with this eye look today using the palette, and as you can see, this is a bit more of a warm toned look, and I really do like how this is turned out, and I will discuss in the tutorial part, you know, how the shades now are applying, but I just wanted to mention the colour story and the finishes inside the palette. So I'm going to insert some arm swatches of every shade in the palette. There's 18 shades in the palette, so I'm going to swatch them all on my arm and insert them right here. So yeah, I hope you like this review and this little eye look that I came up with using the palette. But before I jump into the tutorial, if you are new to my channel, then please hit the subscribe button down below and click the bell next to it so you get notified every time I upload a new video. And of course, if you like and enjoy this video, then please give it a big thumbs up. Now let's get on with the tutorial. Okay, so I've got my tape on, and I've also primed my eyes with the MAC Painterly Paint Pot. And now I'm just going to jump into the palette. So there's a bunch of really gorgeous shades in here. So half the palette looks quite warm and the other half of the palette is a little bit cool tone. So for today's look and to try the palette out, I'm actually going to go with a few of the warmer shades in the palette. I'm going to start off by applying a little bit of the shade Chill. So this shade right here. I'm going to apply this sort of into my crease, and I'm going to take it right over my eye I think as well. So I'm just going to blend it all over, concentrating the most of it though on like my upper part of my eye, like kind of like where the crease is, just a little bit higher than that. And then for a little bit of a transition, I'm going to take this shade which is called Knit Sweater. So this one right here, I'm going to take that on my same brush. This is the Morphe R37. So just picking up a little bit of that and just applying that just slightly higher than my crease. These are pretty light shades, so they don't really show up that well right now, but once we've applied all the rest of the eyeshadows, I think they will show up and give us a nice transition to the rest of the shadows. I'm going to take the shade Snug, which is this one right here. I'm going to take this shade and I'm going to start deepening up the crease. I'm going to use a Morphe R39 brush. On that same brush, I'm going to take the shade Hot Chocolate, So this one right here, I'm going to take that and I'm going to apply that into my crease as well, just to make it even deeper. So just applying that right on top. This shade I need to build a little bit. It's not like super intense or very pigmented. It is quite a light shade. Like, it looks dark in the pan, but when you apply it, it's not like super pigmented. And then on a Morphe M433 brush, I'm going to take the shade Leaves, which is this one right here. I'm going to take that and I'm going to pack that into my outer corner, just to give a nice kind of deep smoky edge. Just packing this right here. So I'm going to pack as much as I can of the shade on before I start to blend it, because what I've actually noticed is that the shades, when you blend them, like when you apply them first, they are quite pigmented, but when you blend them, they do blend away quite a bit. So I'm just making sure I pack a lot on the outer corner, and as you can see, there's quite a bit of fallout. I might just turn my brightness down and now. Is that a bit better so you can see? So yeah, like I know there's a lot of fallout, but I will clean that away after. Okay, so that's me applied that shade, and that's actually the darkest shade in the palette, and I feel like I would like the palette to have a little bit more of a darker chocolate brown shade, because this one here that I've used is a little bit more of a reddy brownish shade. Like, it's a little bit more on the red side, as you can see from my eyes here. It's a little bit redder, if you can see. This palette would have been real nice with a dark brown shade, just to kind of give a little bit more of a smoky edge, if you know what I mean, to a kind of warm look, if you know what I mean, because it is a cozy palette. So yeah, I would have thought there would be like maybe a little bit of a darker brown shade in here, but it's fine. What I'm going to do is I'm going to take a little bit of Fireside, which is this shade right here. I'm going to take that on a Sigma E25, and I'm going to apply this to just this portion of my eyelid here. So kind of a little bit on top of that Leaves shade, that the darkest shade we used there. So this is a shimmery shade. I haven't used a shimmer yet, so I'm looking forward to seeing how this goes. It's kind of metallic and foily, so I think I'd probably best using my finger or using one of my other brushes, but I'm going to try this blending brush first. So it's going to pack a little bit right here, like I said. And yeah, there's a little bit of a shimmer there, you can see that. With this, oh yeah, that's packing on real nicely, but I'm actually going to take my little flat brush. I'm just going to take this one from Coca-Cola and Morphe. It's kind of like a flat shader brush, if you guys can see that. I don't 100% know what this is called, but I think it's like a flat shader or something like that. So I'm going to take that shade and just pack it right here. So you can, yeah, you can definitely see that. That's a lot more pigmented than those matte shades I used. I'm impressed with that shade. That's really nice and pigmented. So I'm just going to take one of my blending brushes here and take a little bit of Leaves. Just make sure that blends nicely into the crease. Okay, so something went a little bit weird right here and here when I was applying a little bit more of the Leaves shade. I don't know what happened. It went a little bit patchy. Yeah, I don't know what happened there, but anyway, let's go on with the glittery shade. I'm looking forward to trying this one here called Sparkler. So this glittery looks like a pressed glitter. I'm going to apply this from the inner corner all the way up to where it meets this Fireside shade. I might take it over it a little bit actually, because I do want this eye to be a little bit more glittery with a little bit, you know, like gold in it. So I'm going to take that shade and I'm going to try it with this brush here, similar to that Morphe and Coca-Cola one. This is a Morphe Jaclyn Hill one, but it's kind of similar. I'm going to press this on top of that, but I might need to use my finger, but I'm going to try this first. Oh wow, really glittery, and it's sticking so far quite well. This might have needed something underneath for it to stick to a little bit better without falling off. Like, it's sticking okay, as you can see, but just in case, maybe apply, maybe concealer, maybe cut the crease and then apply, you know, so it's like kind of got something to stick to, like with concealer. So I'm just taking that a little bit over the Fireside shade, just so we don't have a really kind of harsh section right in the centre of our lid. So that glitter is applying nicely, but as you can see, it doesn't transition that well in the outer corner here. That's why I thought like a darker chocolate brown shade would be nice, just right here, so that all kind of blends and transitions nicely, you know what I mean? I'm going to take the shade Hot Chocolate instead. So Hot Chocolate's this brownie shade here, which is quite light, but I think it might apply a little bit deeper in the outer corner because I've got the other shade Leaves there. So let's just try that, see if it goes a little bit more chocolatey. So I'm not really blending this much, I'm just kind of packing it on. That went a little bit chocolatier, but it's still not deep enough. But anyway, I'm going to do this other eye with the glitter just now and see where we're at. I'm not 100% happy with the outer corner here. It's not deep enough for me, you know. So what I'm going to do is, oh God, my eyes are a mess. Like, it's looking really crazy mess right now, but it will clean up really nicely after, hopefully. But yeah, so I'm going to take the shade from the Revolution and Soft palette. So see this palette right here. I'm going to take the shade Brownies, which is this one right here. It's a little bit more deeper, you know, deeper of a chocolate brown. But of course, if you don't have this palette, then just look in your eyeshadow collection or something for a deeper brownie colour. I'm just going to use a Sigma E38 brush. So yeah, like so far I just applied a little bit of that and I can tell, yeah, that's what I wanted. So again, I don't want to blend this around too much because some of the other shades are disappearing a little bit when you blend them. So I'm just going to pack this on. Hopefully it doesn't move or make anything patchy. There. Like, there's a ton of fallout again, but I will clean it up. Okay, so I'm just clearing up the mess here, but I'm going to actually take my tape off. Sometimes I leave it on when I apply liner, but I'm going to take it off today because my eyes are looking a bit messy. As you can see, that darkest shade just sort of finished, you know, the edge of the eye. Yeah, I think it'll look okay once I apply liner. You could take the glitter right the way out to the end, like the edge of your eye, like the outer corner. But I'm just going to leave it like that. I've kind of covered up that Fireside shade underneath, but it had to be done for, you know, this look. It had to be done. So anyway, I'm now going to use the eyeliner. So that's what it looks like right there. And you know me, I love like my wing liner, and there's not that many eyeliners out there that are really, really good. So I'm excited to see how this one's going to go. The tip on it's a little bit of a thin felt tip. So that's it right there. It's not really like a brush, it's a felt tip. Yeah. Okay, so I've applied the eyeliner and that actually applied really, really nicely. over the glitter as well. Like, yeah, this is a nice eyeliner. Usually I like more like brush tip eyeliners. This is a felt tip, if you know what I mean. It's a little bit different. It's more kind of foamy, if you know, like it's like a foam tip rather than like a brush like hair kind of tip. But it's actually really nice. Like, it is quite a good felt tip. I don't know how long it will last, of course, because felt tips usually dry out a bit quicker than brush ones, well, in my experience anyway. But yeah, it was really nice and it was really easy to use. It's nice and jet black and it went over the glitter, which is good, so I'm happy about that. Wings are not great today, but I'm going to leave it like that. And yeah, I'm going to do the rest of my face makeup, and then I'll come back and finish off the rest of my eyes, because there's a couple of things I want to do to my eyes before I finish the look. Yeah. Okay, so going back to my eyes now, I'm going to finish off the look, and I'm going to take this shade right here from the palette called Fairy Lights, and I'm picking this up on a Morphe Y22 brush. This is one I like to use to apply a highlight to the inner corner, so just applying the shade right here. This one has a little bit of a gold tint to it, which is nice. There's another highlighting shade in the palette, well, what I would use for highlighting at the other side, called Marshmallow, but that's a little bit more icy. That'll be good for like the cooler pink tones in the palette, but I like this one here for this eye look. And then I'm going to just apply a little bit of shadow to my lower lash line. I'm going to take a little bit of Knit Sweater, which is this one right here. It's quite a light shade. We applied that into our crease. It's quite a light shade. It doesn't really show up much, but I'm just going to apply that first and then put another shade on top. I'm just going to take a little bit of Hot Chocolate on that same brush. This is the Morphe M506 brush, and I'm not going to take this all the way into my inner corner because I don't think my eye suits that much, so I'm just going to kind of concentrate it more on the outer part. I'm going to leave it like that, like it's barely there, but I prefer that because I don't like a lot of shadow on my lower lash line because I don't really think my eye suits it. So yeah, that's what I'm going to do in the bottom lash line. Now what I'm going to do is take a nude eyeliner. So I'm going to take the Rimmel Scandalized Nude Eyeliner. This is my absolute favourite from a waterline. And then for my lashes, I'm going to use the Charlotte Tilbury Pillow Talk Push Up Mascara. So actually, I'm going to go back into that palette and take the marshmallow shade, this shade right here, and I'm going to use that to highlight the centre of my face. So like just at the tip of my nose, a little bit right here, a little bit on my chin. And to finish off the lips, I applied a little bit of this Vila lipstick from Illamasqua. I can apply a little bit more. And then I'll put a little bit of this shade from Illamasqua as well, this Shara shade right in the centre, just to make it a little bit lighter. Okay, so this is the completed look up close. And yeah, this eye look has turned out pretty nice. Like, I had a little bit of a problem at the beginning, but it's kind of came together quite well. And I definitely needed that darker shade for the outer corner that I pulled from the Soft palette. Yeah, I definitely need that to complete the eye look, for me anyway. Yeah, so let's discuss the palette actually. So first of all, the couple of matte shades that I used were nice. They're very light though, obviously, like this shade here and this shade, Knit Sweater and Chill. Very, very light shades. They're just more or less base shades. You can use them as a little bit as a transition shade depending on your skin tone, obviously. The other shade, Snug, gave it a little bit of depth to the eye, and then when I added Hot Chocolate, it gives it extra bit of depth, which is nice. The only thing about Hot Chocolate and the Leaves shade is they're not as pigmented as I would like them to be for a matte shade. You know, when you apply them, they do apply quite nicely, but I feel like you need to keep building them. Yeah, you need to build them quite a bit, especially if you want to blend them, you know, quite a bit with other shades. They do need to be like packed on, so that's the only kind of downside to them. Like, I feel like they do need to be packed on, and if you blend them a bit too hard, they can start to kind of disappear. But this shade here that I used, Fireside, was really nice. That was nice and metallic-y and pigmented. I applied that to the outer corner, of course, but I've went over it now with the other shade from the Soft palette. But that was nice and metallic. That would be nice maybe all over the lid with a couple of other shades instead. And then what else did we use here? We used the glitter sparkler right here on the lid. Like, that's gorgeous. That's really nice and glittery and pigmented, and it packs on nicely even though it's kind of like it's a loose glitter, and it kind of sticks on the eyes, which is quite good, and just fall off, which is nice. So that is really, really good. I do like the sparkler shade, so it'll be interesting to see how the Dazzle shade goes now. Like, that looks like a lovely glitter as well. Will look lovely with the cool tone shades. Then the Fairy Lights shade, it's really nice and pigmented with the inner corner to highlight. Marshmallow, really nice as well for the centre of the face. And of course, if you want to use the cooler tone shades in the palette, that will look really nice in the inner corner. But yeah, so overall, I think the palette is really, really nice. It is, I like the mix of shades, and you know, like, you have half warm tone and half cool tone, so I do like that you can get a variety of looks with the palette. And I do like there's a couple of glitters in there and a mixture of mattes, shimmers and metallics. The pigmentation is nice. Like, some of the shades do need to be packed on a little bit more, and you just have to watch sometimes when you blend them. But overall, I think it's a really nice palette, and I'm excited to do a look now with the cool side of the palette. So let me know if that's something you would like to see. Now with the eyeliner, this is really nice. I'm actually really impressed with this. I like how jet black it is, and I like how easy it is to apply, especially for a felt tip. And I also really like that it went over the glitter really nicely, because some eyeliners can be a bit funny going over glitter, so I do like that it applied over that really nicely. I do like the finish of it. It's kind of like a, I would say it's kind of like a satiny finish. It has a little bit of a sheen to it. Yeah, it's not like a matte eyeliner, but I actually quite like a satin finish liner anyway. It doesn't look as like messed up. Like, if you make a mistake or if your eyeliner's not perfect, I feel like with satin ones you can get away with it more than you can with a matte one. So yeah, I do like this eyeliner. I will be using this a lot more. If you're into eyeliner, then this is a good one I think to invest in from the drugstore, because there's not many that I really like from the drugstore. Like I usually go for the Kat Von D tattoo liner. That's my absolute favourite. I think it's the best eyeliner out there. But this one is actually really nice, and it's a really good drugstore affordable one. So yeah, if you're into eyeliner, then I would definitely give this a go. So this is the completed look, and I really like how the eye look is turned out. And yeah, I am pretty impressed with the collection. So if you are interested in the collection, guys, I will leave a link to it down below in the description box for you. I'd love to know what you think about my look and of course this collection down in the comment section. And yeah, that is it for this review. I really hope you liked and enjoyed this video. If you did, then please give it a big thumbs up. Hit the subscribe button down below if you haven't already, and I'll speak to you very soon in my next video. Bye.